regions of the country. And in sports, Simba Sports Club determined to continue performing well so as to attract more investors. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has sworn in ambassadors who were recently appointed and directed them to ensure they represent Tanzania well abroad by promoting the economic diplomacy policy in various sectors. The new ambassadors were sworn in at State House, Dar es Salaam, at an occasion also attended by various leaders, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Ambassador Liberata Mulamula.
Moja ni hili la miamala ya simu za mkononi, kutuma na kupokea fedha.
On the issue of mobile money transactions, the new system was to commence in July, but people complained. Since we are listening government, we took 1 week to collect citizens' views. We're expecting to receive the formal committee's report in a few days. We shall definitely inform the public on the way forward, although I want people to know that the aim of the new tax is to contribute to our own development. Also on the issue on increase in fertilizer prices in the country, this is due to global fertilizer factories failing to produce the commodity because the issue is related to COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to assure farmers that as the government, we have begun taking measures to ensure that fertilizer is available in the country.
In another development, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has met and held talks with the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in Africa, Dr. John Nkangosong, at State House in Dar es Salaam. In the talks, Dr. Nkangosong commended President Samia Suluhu Hassan on various measures being taken to address COVID-19 and that CDC Africa supports the government's efforts, while President Samia Suluhu Hassan said that Tanzania is ready to work with CDC to fight the virus.
Myself and my delegation to discuss how the African Union can best work with the United Republic of Tanzania to support them to fight the COVID pandemic. We also wanted to share and extend our message of solidarity from His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, who is the chairperson of the African Union, and to express his sincere support that we, as the African Union and Africa CDC, we stand by the people of Tanzania to fight the COVID-19. You know that President Cyril Ramaphosa is the champion for COVID for the continent and has been working on this a coordinated approach on the continent since 1.5 years. And I also briefed the President on exactly what His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa has been doing, including setting up a platform for a vaccine acquisition.
The government has said that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine against the coronavirus will be distributed in all regions of the country, with regions with the highest number of infection cases getting bigger quantities of the vaccine. The national vaccine rollout will be launched by President Samia Suluhu Hassan on Wednesday.
2021 wakati dunia ikiwa imerekodi watu walioambukizwa 1,191,773,590 tangu ugonjwa huu uingie duniani. Jumla ambao wameshafariki kidunia 4,127,963.
Ni salama kabisa na zinaweza kutumika kwa Tanzania. Labda nirudie tu, mkurugenzi wa magonjwa ya kinga alisema magonjwa haya yalikuwepo. Ni kweli yalikuwepo. Wengi tulisikia miaka 2008, 2009 ugonjwa wa mafua ya ndege ulivyoitikisa dunia hii.
The fifth and sixth witnesses from the Republic in the armed robbery case against the former District Commissioner of Hai Lengai Ole Sabaya and two co-accused have continued to testify in Arusha's resident magistrate court. Moving on, religious leaders in the country have agreed on the use of coronavirus vaccines and urged Tanzanians to continue receiving advice from experts on how to protect themselves from the virus. The announcement was made in Dar es Salaam by religious leaders at the headquarters of the Catholic Church Tanzania Episcopal Conference.
Kwamba katika hizi chanjo tulizo nazo duniani.
We are proud to be main sponsors of Simba Sports Club because they have shown exactly what we wanted to see, them being champions. Jack, Dini. Our government has allowed vaccines in the country where it will be given to those who will be willing to be vaccinated. It is not mandatory. As religious leaders, we depend on verification from experts. We have agreed that we shall follow directives given by the Ministry of Health that need to be followed by houses of worship such as churches and mosques, where we will inform our followers and advise them on how to wash their hands with clean water and soap, measuring temperatures before entering the premises, and social distance as well.
Being marks along the Namanga border in Longido district separating Tanzania and Kenya, smuggling has continued to take place, including entry of illegal immigrants along the border. This was revealed during the visit of the Minister of Home Affairs, George Simbachawene, along the border.
The border point is very big and very open. Following such conditions, it is easy for criminals to pass through and continue with their criminal activities. From these loopholes, the government is losing a lot of revenues. Security Committee, please do what is possible to block the roads, or otherwise we have to put police officers in every point of the border.
More than 2,000 fishermen along the shores of Kanyala in Buchosa Council, Mwanza region, have urged the government to intervene and control incidents of piracy along Lake Victoria, which they claim have become a threat to the lives of fishermen.
Ikawasha tochi kali sana. Kama jamaa yangu tukawa watu wawili kwenye mtumbwi. Kawaida yetu tunalala kule mbele, katikati hapo tunaacha hapo sehemu ya kupangia mitego. Tukalala hapo, wakasogea. Baadaye wakatuambia rareni, tukalala. Sasa baada ya kulala wakasogea mpaka kwenye mtumbwi. Baada hapo wakapiga reverse, wakasogea kwenye mashine yetu.
Waeke speedboat, tuwe salama tuvue na tuingize mapato katika serikali.
They should bring speedboats so that fishermen will remain safe and continue bringing revenue to the government. Fishermen go fishing with their mobile phones. Whenever they are attacked, they do give information on the attacks. Although arresting criminals is a challenge because police station is very far.
The recently announced 17 guidelines against COVID-19 by the Ministry of Health have been received with mixed views by residents of Dar es Salaam, where in some areas residents have been adhering to the guidelines, while in other areas such as markets and on public transport, people have continued to ignore the regulations.
Maji kila mahali yamewekwa na dawa za kunawa mikono vizuri, na watu wamekaa katika namna nyingine hapa kwa sababu kuna barakoa. Naona zile social distance sioni, lakini kwa kuwa kuna barakoa inaonekana kuna nafuu kidogo.
Hospitali iliweka maelekezo kwamba ndugu wanaokuja kuona wagonjwa pia idadi yao ipungue ambapo kwa siku hospitali inaruhusu wagonjwa ndugu 5 tu, ambapo asubuhi ile mida ya saa 12 mpaka saa 1 ndugu wawili wanaruhusiwa kuona wagonjwa.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news, Tokyo has reported its highest number of new coronavirus infections just days after the start of the Olympic Games. Here's more on the report. The Japanese capital confirmed 2,848 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, exceeding the earlier record of 2,520 cases on January 7th, and bringing the city's total to more than 200,000 since the pandemic began last year. Tokyo is under its fourth state of emergency, which is to continue through the Olympics until just before the Paralympics start in late August. Experts have warned that the more contagious Delta variant could cause a surge during the Games, whose opening ceremony took place on Friday. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission in Burundi has urged citizens in Bujumbura who have information on the 1972 genocide to provide it to the Commission. This was said during the launch of an exercise to look for mass graves and excavation of remains of people killed in the genocide.
They say that in Butiere there are mass graves. We want people to take us to these areas. Regarding reports on mass graves and the story buildings, I think it is best to consult with the government to come with a decision on what can be done under such circumstances.
The Cuban embassy in Paris says its building was attacked overnight with petrol bombs, causing serious damage to no injuries to diplomatic staff. Here's more on the report. The embassy on Tuesday condemned the attack on its premises located in the French capital's 15th arrondissement. The Cuban Foreign Ministry's International Press Center said 3 Molotov cocktails were thrown, with 2 hitting the embassy and sparking fire. There was no immediate comment from French police, but Cuban Minister of Foreign Affairs Bruno Rodriguez put the blame for the incident on the United States. Residents and civil society organizations in Lamu County along the shores of Kenya have urged the government to remove numerous barricades placed by the military force as security against Al-Shabaab terrorists along the Lamu-Witu-Garsen road. They say the barricades have increased fear among residents and inconvenienced motorists.
They should put police officers in every bus, as they used to do before, because it will help in reducing crimes.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after the break.
Business Edition, and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. The government, through the Bank of Tanzania, has started a special fund worth 1 trillion shillings, which will be used to provide loans to banks and financial institutions at an interest rate of 3% so that they can give loans to private sector at not more than 10% interest rate per year.
Inapungua hadi kufikia.
Interest rates should not exceed 10% so as to support our local investors to take loans for various development activities like agriculture. The first step for the central bank is to reduce savings of banks that are supposed to be deposited at the central bank. Again, the reduction will not be for all banks, but under special terms.
Some transport stakeholders of the Port of Kigoma and Central Rail who transport cargo to Burundi and Democratic Republic of Congo have expressed concern on bureaucracy and numerous taxes in various institutions, which have caused many to look for other alternatives, including from neighboring countries.
There are many permits forcing traders to seek services elsewhere. Honestly, we have lost customers from Zambia because of the bureaucracy at our port and railway, and adding ridiculous fees. Whenever there are problems, don't just complain, present your grievances to the right places. There are some complaints that can be sorted out in departments very quickly.
And stakeholders have said avocado farming that does not adhere to good agricultural practices given by extension officers has contributed to production of poor quality avocados which fail to access international markets.
We must have a strategic plan for avocado farming so that we can take this crop to another level. Every district council must prepare nurseries for avocado seedlings with good quality standards that will be given to citizens as a means of increasing production.
And that is the end of business news. In sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose and left.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Simba Sports Club says it's determined to continue performing well so that it can attract more investors after receiving 100 million shillings from their sponsor SportPesa for winning the Mainland Premier League this season.
We have fulfilled our responsibility. When the season began, we said we are going to be the champions at the Premier League. Secondly, the champions of the Asian Sports Federation Cup and also the Champions League, which entered the group stage, and now, and at the quarterfinals. SportPesa, as the main sponsors, have motivated our spirits even further.
Wadhamini wakuu, tunajisikia fahari sana kufanya kazi na Simba Sports Club.
We are proud to be main sponsors of Simba Sports Club, because they have shown exactly what we wanted to see, them being champions.
Nao wawe mabingwa.
Supervisors of the project aimed at developing handball in primary and secondary schools, PUSH, have said they have come up with a strategy aimed at developing talents through the sport in schools in neighboring countries of Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda.
Mabadiliko namna vijana
weza kutoa pasi, kuweza kuelewa mchezo na kupokea. Tulianza na shule 3 lakini sasa hivi tuna shule zaidi ya 35. Kwa kwetu ni mafanikio makubwa sana. Lakini kitu kingine kabisa ambacho tunaona mafanikio makubwa kwamba vijana wamekuwa wakijitokeza kwa wingi na walimu pia wamekuwa wakitoa ushirikiano.
World champions in the United States were held to a draw by Australia in the final group game in the women's football tournament at Tokyo 2020. Here's more on the report. They finished runners-up in Group G after Sweden bet New Zealand 2-0 to claim top spot with 3 wins. The USA and Sweden are through to the quarterfinals, with Australia could progress as one of the best third-place teams. Japanese superstar Naomi Osaka suffered a surprise exit in her home Olympics as Czech Markéta Vondrousova earned a straight set win in Tokyo. Osaka has been one of the faces of the Games in the Japanese capital and had the honor of lighting the Olympic cauldron in last week's opening ceremony. But the 4-time Grand Slam champion could not back that up by winning a medal, losing 6-1, 6-4 to the world number 42 in the 3rd round. It was Osaka's first tournament after withdrawing from the French in June, when she revealed she had suffered long bouts of depression since winning her first Grand Slam title in 2018. Simone Biles pulled out of the gymnastics women team final at Tokyo 2020 before her United States team went on to claim silver. Here's the report. Biles briefly left the arena after scoring 13.766 on the vault in the first rotation, her lowest score on that apparatus in her Olympics career. She returned to support her teammates but was replaced by Jordan Shields for the uneven bars, beams and floor. The Russian Olympic Committee team won gold with Great Britain taking bronze. Biles is the most successful U.S. gymnastic of all time and winner of 4 gold medals and a bronze at Rio 2016. For tonight, my name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Fahamu matumizi yasiyo sahihi ya barakoa. Usining'inize barakoa yako kwenye sikio. Usishushe barakoa yako chini ya kidevu. Usivae barakoa wakati wa mazoezi. Usile chakula ukiwa umevaa barakoa. Kwa maelezo na ushauri, piga simu namba 199 bure.